What's up, everybody? This is DTM, Delta Tango Mike. I hope you have been having a great day hanging out here. Oh my gosh, let me go ahead. Hope you've been having a great day here in Behance Land, Adobe Live, full of amazing artists and creative techniques. I am DTM, Delta Tango Mike. Find me anywhere on the internet, Delta Tango Mike. And this is Pro Tips. It is Wednesday of our 4-day pro tips, so it's day 2. And today we're here to talk about Cloud Sync for social media posts, the workflow from desktop to iPad and back to desktop. All right. Oh my gosh. Yesterday was an amazing day. We had a lot of fun working on a character. So today we're going to continue down that path of working with our creative workflows and including the Adobe Creative Cloud Sync. Big ups to everybody joining us in the chat already from the get-go. RB, Rob, Gareth, Oliver, Steve, Patrick, and Cody Bear. Welcome all. I didn't say hello, Patrick. Oh my gosh, I should say that. Hello, Patrick. So just want to take a second to give everybody a shout out. If you're joining us on YouTube, hello to you on YouTube. Viruco, how you doing? Saludos. Muchas gracias por estar aquí hoy con nosotros. I want everyone to remember that we stream live on Behance.net/Adobe Live and on YouTube on the Adobe Live channel. Okay, so let's jump right on in, right? What's up, Patrick? Word. Django, hey, how you doing? So let me share my iPad screen and talk about what is it that we're here to do. What are we making? Well, yesterday we worked on illustration. Right here it is. Let's pull up this illustration. We worked. Thanks, Rob. We worked on a character design that we used Adobe Fresco, Adobe Illustrator to hop back and forth between desktop and iPad for maximum efficiency, right? We have our iPad right here. This is not the same iPad as the one that's on the screen, but we have an iPad. And what's really cool about working with an iPad is that you can get to kick back and draw and design with a very simple, easy to carry mobile device. What's awesome about the Creative Cloud is that you can hop between different programs. There we go. It didn't like it. That's okay. Let's go ahead and go back and forth. Open up Illustrator again. We can go between different programs in Adobe programs like Adobe Illustrator from the desktop to the iPad. So let's try that again and let's see what happens. I know I was just playing around with these files, and so you got to give it a second. I should have had that clicked on already. Cody Bear says DTM needs a wizard hat. I am not against that. All right, so what are we making today, Dan? Well, we're going to take this design right here, which is sort of okay. Typography is not my strongest suit, but I make do. And so today we're going to make some IG square posts, a stories post, which is that vertical or portrait mode, and a video thumbnail, which would be the landscape mode, plus a carousel design that we can use in LinkedIn and Instagram. Whoa, that's a lot of stuff. That's 4 things, Dan. Are you sure? Like, yeah, I'm sure. We only got 25 minutes. I know. Let's go. So stop talking. All right. Now, there are 2 options, okay? Let's talk about these 2 options, all right? Very, very, very important to keep this in mind. We have 2 options where we can either use our business time on the desktop or our chill time on the iPad. And either one of those 2 options, let me share my screen with you. Either one of those 2 options we will give you, you can use, for either of those 2 options, you can use Adobe Illustrator on the desktop or Adobe Illustrator on iPad, or the second option, Adobe Express. Oh my gosh. Are you telling me you haven't had a chance to play with Adobe Express? What are you talking about? What do you mean? There's my Adobe Express projects. This is in the desktop. On the desktop, you will use the web, but on the iPad, let me go ahead and switch to my iPad. You can use the app, and there it is. Boom. So this is So we have a couple options, and I just want to touch on Adobe Express for a little bit because I am an Adobe Illustrator user. I've been an Adobe Illustrator user for 20 years and so on, and I love Adobe Illustrator. And Django is asking, what iPad are you using? Right here in my hand, I have the iPad 11. This is the iPad 11. I guess it's the iPad Pro 11. And then in front of me on this stand is an iPad Pro 12.9. It is the M1. M1. And it does have a terabyte. I think it's a terabyte. And so that means that it has 16 gigs of RAM. Poof. This is a 2 terabyte one. So it does have 16 gigs of RAM. And let me tell you, I don't know. I want to say big ups to the tech team that's making all these apps available to us. It runs, all the Adobe apps run really, really smooth on it. So there you go. All right, so let's touch on Adobe Express. That's option number one. Option number two is Adobe Illustrator. However, either one of those two options give us the chance to use the Creative Cloud sync documents to jump between a desktop and an iPad. How you doing, Umacorn? Umacorn, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. RB in the house. Veronica, how are you? Thank you all for joining us today. So again, this is on the browser. So here's my browser window. As you can see, there it is, Adobe Express. And if I wanted to edit a project, which is really cool to try out, edit a project that you already have, or in our case, you can start brand new. And what's cool about starting brand new is that when you start a new project, you can choose what you're going to work on: a logo, a flyer, a poster, Instagram post, Instagram story, which is what we're talking about today. A logo is not so much as a logo, but that square size. I want to be able to do, or there it is, that's Instagram post, Instagram story, Facebook post, and if I go for, oh, there it is, and the thumbnail. Oh my gosh, the thumbnail. What I don't see is a super long image that or file that we can use for our carousel. So we can get to that in a minute. Let me double check and see, make sure everybody is getting the love they deserve on YouTube. How you doing, Atuk? Welcome to the stream. I appreciate ya. All right. So when you start a project, what I like about Adobe Express is that when you're working on a project, so let me pull up one of my old projects here. Boom. And you design something. When you're done designing it, this is a part of my Sketch to Vector series. When you're done designing, let's say I can make some edits and stuff. Let me see, Sketch to Vector. Boom. And then I say, okay, let's go ahead and download a copy. Boom, download it into my computer. All right, and sure, downloads. So just leave it there. The next thing it asks is, well, what else do you want to make with this same artwork? Okay. So now I say, okay, let me do Instagram story. So boom, Adobe Express is putting in the work to give you a different type of layout design that will go from what you were designing before, which is the square, to now is that portrait mode. What's happening here? And so then boom, you can just get right to work. See that? Boom. And just start moving around your elements to fit the design and get your design, boom, to match up to what you want people to know and see. There it is. Love is jazzy. Yes. There we go. Boom. Look at that. Just like that, right? And then when you're finished here, boom, you go ahead and again, download. You can't, it's saving right now. It's saving. And if I wanted to rename it, oh, there it is. Instagram story is done, right? Let me go back to my projects and saving my project to the cloud. And let's switch over to my iPad and go into my projects on the bottom right. And there it is. It's right there on the top left already. It's already there. So then I can continue on my iPad, chill out, sit back and relax on the couch or wherever you like to relax. I do have a back deck, so I like sitting out in my back deck and working on my artwork. Edit a copy. Sure. Let's edit a copy. It's missing fonts. Sir. There it goes. It's fixing my fonts. And now I can change everything and anything I want in here. So working with Adobe Express is really cool. It's really easy to hop between iPad, which is what I'm doing here, and the desktop. So make sure that you check out Adobe Express. The last thing I want to talk about Adobe Express before we go into Illustrator, which is where I live. I live in Illustrator. I'm serious. I'm in Illustrator all day, every day. Is that you can, let me see, where did I write it down? Adobe Express. There we go. Carousel, chill, artboard. Okay, you can use Adobe Express to schedule your social media posts. There was just a stream recently right here on Behance about using the scheduler in Adobe Express. As you can see, I don't have too many things and I should be using it a little bit more. But a couple weeks ago, was it a couple weeks ago? How far ago? There it is. Boom. For my sketch to vector, I was using it. I was using it for sketch to vector. And as you can see, I set up some of my social media posts right here. Yes. Adobe Express. Now, Adobe Express is an easy way to continue to create different social media posts and easy to use setup either on the browser or the iPad. What about Illustrator? Because we're here to talk about Illustrator, Dan. Yes, talk about Illustrator. And the Creative Cloud, actually Creative Cloud sync options. Let's see. Rob says, yep, speedy rework is not within our grasp. Yes, that's right. It is very fast. It's very fast. So here we are. This is Adobe Illustrator. And I had just opened this file in Adobe Illustrator. Hey, why is it so jumpy? Here we go. This file right here, right? This is the DTM versus Adobe Live version 3.1 Adobe Illustrator Cloud. Okay, so now I want you to pay attention to these names because everything you see here in my home page, if it has the letter C past the AI, that is a cloud document. This one right here, these two, there's just Adobe Illustrator. But this one right here, which is a circle sticker that I'm thinking about printing, it says Adobe Illustrator Cloud. This is the part that we want to pay attention to. Also, when we go to the iPad, there it is. It's the same list of documents except for the Illustrator file documents that live in my computer. The only ones that we see here are the cloud ones. Oh my gosh, and there it is. A DTM versus Adobe Live version 3.1, and that's the Adobe Illustrator Cloud. Let's go ahead and open it up. There we go. And so now I'm in Adobe Illustrator and I say, well, now I want to go ahead and make those social media posts. I want the square, which I have now. I want the thumbnail landscape, the Instagram and stories and Facebook stories, portrait mode, and a carousel. So that's 4 things. How can I do that? So my method for working between Illustrator on desktop and the iPad is to, on the desktop, go ahead and open up my document. Boom, there it goes. It's super fast. Yes, there it is. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and set up my artboards. The first thing I do is set up my artboards. You can see I don't have anything in here. So let's go ahead and grab an artboard. I do want to make a note of a couple things. Number one, my rulers is set to inches, but now I want to set up some artboards for posting. So I'm going to go ahead and change my rulers to pixels. Grab my artboard, make a new artboard here onto the side. Boom, that's going to be my portrait mode stories, but I want to make sure that it has the correct number of pixels, the correct dimension. So I click on enter. There it is. Look at that. It shows me what my pixel sizes is. And the width is going to be 1080. The height is going to be 1920. I like it. Click OK. There it is. Boom. Got it. Now let's go ahead and Alt, click, drag. Now I got a new artboard, copy from the artboard number 2, hit enter, and we're gonna switch this orientation from portrait to landscape. Click on OK and set it down. The last thing I want to show you, the last poster we're going to make. This has been my method. I found out about this and I thought, oh, this is a great idea, and I'm gonna continue to use it forever and ever. And if you were to create this carousel design in Adobe Express, it's not that hard. Okay, so just think about this. All right, so number one, I'm gonna make a square. So hold down, click and drag, let go, enter, and now for my pixels it's gonna be 1000, and for my width and for my height another 1000. So that's 1000 by 1000. Click OK, and bam, there it goes. That's my artboard for the carousel. Hold on, Dan, but that's just a square. Yes, because we're gonna grab the Alt key, hold down the Alt key, click and drag with your mouse and bring it over right next to the first artboard on that list. There we go. So now we have 2. So now we have theoretically an artboard size is 2000 by 1000. Let's do it one more time. If you want a carousel of 3 pieces, then you're gonna have 3 squares. What? Yes, just like that. Boom. So now whatever you design in this space, when it's time to export and you export the actual individual artboards, you're gonna have your carousel already broken up into the 3 pieces that you're going to use to post on LinkedIn or on Instagram. What? Yes. Okay, so listen. I get excited about stuff like this. I don't know about you, but I think this is awesome. Okay, so before we continue, because we got a couple more steps to do, the next thing to do is to make sure we rename these artboards. So let's go back to our window menu, look for artboards. There they are. Boom, and here's our artboards. I don't need this here. Let's close that window. Our artboards window says this is artboard 1. So I'm gonna call that now square, capital square. That's our square artboard. Artboard 2 is gonna be, and I double click the word artboard. This is gonna be our story. Ooh, type. Bam. Artboard 3. Let me double click it so we can go to the artboard 3. There it is, and that's gonna be our thumbnail. See, I'm renaming the artboards. This is gonna be very important later, because when we export artboards, they're gonna keep the name that we give them, and it's gonna be really in the file. Once we export our artboards, the file name for each artboard will keep the name of the artboard, and then will be easy to identify those files in our folder in our computer. So this is why we're doing this. All right, so artboard number 4 is really carousel 1. Artboard number 4 copy is carousel 2. Artboard 4 copy is carousel 3. There it is. Boom. I didn't have to look at the number to type the number. That's cool. All right, so now when we look back like this, like, yeah, each artboard is named properly. And just so that we can have a visual of what we're talking about, what we're doing, let's go ahead and lock all this and go into layer 7. As I'm doing these things, let me go ahead and change the name. I need to change the name. This is Live 1 Social. All right. DTM versus Adobe Live version 3, number 1 Social. Enter. I had to change the name because the more changes and adjustments as I'm making to my file, the Creative Cloud is going to start saving this to the cloud. And look, it's already created a new one right here. This is the first one. This first one right here is the latest one I just created, and it has the word social in it. The one right after, before that, doesn't have the word social, and that's the file that we started with earlier. And this is on my iPad. So let's go back to my desktop. Okay, so we created artboards. We renamed our artboards. I saved the file back into the Creative Cloud with an added name to it. And last thing is, visually, I want to be able to tell what's going on here. So this is going to be names. Let me just call that names. And so get the type tool, click, and let's zoom in real quick. Oh yeah, that's not going to work. Let me see if I can go like this. There we go. Yeah, that didn't work. So let's delete that. Type tool, tap, into the screen, and this is gonna call that square. You see that? I just named that. I just added the word square right here. Boom, make it a white color. I like it. Got it. All right, so now I have, that one's my square, and I'm gonna set it right here on the top. Now I'm gonna hold down the Alt key, click and drag so that this one we can rename, what do we say? Story, see? And then again, we're gonna hold down Alt key, click and drag, and this is double tap for thumbnail. These are my visuals, reminders as to what each artboard is. And then one more, hold down Alt, click and drag, and this is, come on, boom, carousel. Am I spelling that right? I think I am. I think I am. Boom, there it is. So now I have my artboard set. Everything is ready to go. I got a couple more steps before I'm done on desktop. And you know, this is really fast. It's taking a lot longer to show you this as I'm explaining it than it is to do it. It's really, really fast to do this. Back to my layers. There's my layers. And the names of the artboard. So let's just call that artboard names. Yep, got it. This is my signature, and this is all the character stuff. So this is the stuff that I want. So let me go ahead and add a new layer and call that square design. And inside of square design, we're going to put everything in that layer. Bam, got it. So that is the square design right here. I'm done with that one. That one's good, except that I know that there was a couple things that I need to fix, including these fingers. Like, just sometimes you click on something and it ends up being something else. I'm like, yeah, I need to go back and fix that. I'll fix it later. Okay, so square design, select that layer. Now, anytime you select the layer, and I'm gonna make a copy of this layer, duplicate it and so on. But anytime you click on the layer and you click on that little circle and it pops open like this, that means there's some things here that are turned off. Either a layer's turned off or something is locked. And you know which layer has that, what you're looking for, because all these squares look the same size except these two and that green one right here. So let's open up the graph layer and look for the little. Where is the little? I think this right here, vector layer. And click on that. Is something in here? Something is hiding. Where is it? No, it wasn't graph. It was a brand. Okay, let's go with brand. That's right. That's right. There it is. Brand. Pencils. And there it is. Look, something was turned off. So I'm going to turn it back on. And sometimes I do that when I'm working. I turn something off because I actually don't need that second copy. I'll duplicate layers all the time. But because I'm going to be moving things around, I want all these layers to be present. All present. There it is. Look at that. There we go. Turn them on. Turn them on. You can turn off a layer. Turn a layer off and on by clicking on the eyeball. All right. Boom. I think that looks right. It still looks a little iffy. Let's see. Let's close this up. Oh, there he goes. Every time I try to close this, it says, you're not done, Dan. You're right. Character. All right. Character. There it is. One layer that was turned off, and there's another layer turned off right here. And I know which layer that is. But for now, I want to make sure that we cover this properly. Select that layer, and now you don't see the layers popping open. So that's a pro tip right there. When you see the layers popping right open, when you select the main layer and the rest of the layers pop open, that means there's something here that needs your attention. So there, I got the square design. Hold down Alt, click and drag. Boom, there goes design copy. This design, square design copy, is really going to be called story design. Bam, just like that. And I'm gonna click and drag it over here. Look, now it lives in the story artboard. Boom. And you do that with all of the designs. Once you get to done putting all the designs in there, Control S to save. And we're gonna go ahead and close this file. There it is. As you can see, now it has 2 pieces of artwork in here. And if we look on our iPad, there it is. It's right there. Already right there. Oh my gosh. So what you do now is that you open up your Illustrator Illustrator on the iPad. And now I'm putting on my gloves, you know, I got my Apple Pencil. So now you look at your layers, and so things are locked up. There it is. There's the story design. Look at this. Back copy, select that back copy. Boom, what am I doing? I am making the adjustments to the elements so that the composition is fits the design that I have in mind. This is for the stories. Then I'm going to do the same for the thumbnail. Then I'm going to do the same for the carousel. Interesting, Dan. So let me go ahead and close this for now and show you what it looks like once I've already gone in and worked on my different artboards. Boom. So, well, easy. There we go. I know. There it is. Look at this. Oh, that's so right. That's so right, Dan. I was sitting in the couch last night watching a TV show with my wife while I was sitting there working on my iPad. This is the on-the-go mobile option of working with Adobe Illustrator and making use of the Creative Cloud document sync is that you get to hang out, do other things that are not at your desk, and work on an iPad and quickly work through, put in some work, and then be able to jump in once I'm done with this, right? I'll be like, okay, I'm done. I did my work. I adjusted everything. I adjusted certain things. I can leave the iPad, go back to my desktop. Boom. I keep switching. I know. I'm sorry. And let's go ahead and open. There it is. Boom. Tap it and bam. And look, what I tell you, artboards, original, square, story, thumbnail, carousel. And there they are. And the last thing that I would do when I'm on my desktop is double check that certain things are set correctly. Is the type correct? Is the type lining up or whatever? And then the last thing I possibly can do here is to go to File, Export As. Make sure that I use artboards and all. And then let me go ahead into just 2020 branding. There it is. Social post as social posts. Boom, and then click on export. And as soon as I click on export, it's going to export everything all out for you to grab and see how we did with our social media posts using, boom, bam, here it is, carousel, Adobe Creative Cloud Documents. I am DTM, and I will see you next time. Have a great day. Peace out.